What a dynamic start to the week. There's a new tariff in town, and it's taking no prisoners. The market sell off continues, and it appears like we are in for more turmoil as investors come to terms that this is an administration that is all in on tariffs. So the question is, why do you feel obligated to participate in the losses? Is it a sense of pride, stubbornness, or a lack of cohesive direction? This is no time for bravery when it comes to the tactical moves. Right now is the absolute best time for prudent reassessment of strategic allocations. Remember, the price for recovery is time. Institutional money has been moving out since the beginning of the year at a time when small investors are pouring in. At the end, who bears the carnage? Now, I don't know if you remember 2000, 2001, 2002, or 2008, but it took time to recover from those things. All you got to do is look out there on the internet right now. You can see Treasury yields tumble 5-year high yield. Wall Street could be headed for a bear market. JP Morgan says issues warning about Trump tariffs. Trump announces 50% tariff on China. Federal Reserve to announce rate cut and liquidity injection at meeting later today. Folks, this is the picture. This is what's going on. This isn't new news. This is what the market does. About every 3.9 years, the market adjusts itself. But this, if you've been out there and you've been building a retirement account for your entire life, and now this administration's asking you to just suffer just a little bit while we go through this process. And it probably is going to be just a little bit. But did you build your retirement up so that you could get here and just like suffer? I mean, really, if I called you up and said, hey, listen, come over to my house today and let's just have a little misery, would you come? You know, on top of that, we got a U.S. debt that's $36 trillion. We spent $2 trillion more than we brought in. $226 trillion in unfunded deficit for Social Security, Medicare, and prescription drugs. But you know, a really cool thing on this USDebtClock.org now is the Doge clock. $291 billion they found so far, and they're headed for a $1 trillion. And quite frankly, they think they'll find more than that. I hope they find the $2 trillion so that we can just stop spending more than what we're actually bringing in. So here we are. We've reached this point again. And here you are starting to head off into retirement or already in retirement. The S&P fell 6.65% on April 3rd and 5.97 on April 4th, totaling 10% loss over 2 days. Dow Jones Industrial Average dropped 22.31 points, 5.5 on April 4th, followed by 16.79, 3.98 decline in the previous day. NASDAQ Composite lost 5.8 on April 4th, entering into a bear market territory. Now, folks, my name is James Johnson. I've been a retirement and estate planning specialist for going on 20 plus years now. I'm top of the table. That's for MDRT, which is Million Dollar Roundtable, which is one of the most prestigious, oldest, and largest financial planning institutions in the world. If you're qualified for it, you're in the top 5% of all planners in the world. If you're top of the table, you're the top 1%. Master lead advisor for Ed Slott for more than 9 years, father of 2, and a Rotarian. And my expertise lies in retirement, estate planning, and saving businesses money. And today I'd like to talk to you about how to win this retirement game. You see, it really is a game. And you've been playing a game the whole entire time. You've been over here playing the game of accumulation. And in the accumulation, it's really no big deal, folks. All you got to do is just wait. The market goes up and down and up and down, and it's really no big deal. It doesn't take much of a plan. You dollar cost average in, and you just keep investing. But then you reach this new world. And this new world that you're either in or you're just about to step in is called distribution. And folks, it takes a plan to get through distribution to be able to live the lifestyle you become accustomed to, adjusted for taxes and inflation out beyond yours and your spouse's life expectancy, and then pass your money on in the most tax favored way possible. See, if you don't do it right, there's a good chance that you're going to run out of money. And it's times just like this, what's going on in the market right here, that makes the big difference whether you run out of money. You see, if you're out here in this accumulation and the market's going up and down and up and down, it's really no big deal. You just wait. But when you get out here to the preservation distribution stage of your life, and let's just say that this is $1 million, you've got to have at least $60,000 a year from it. Well, if the market makes 6%, life is good. 6%, life is good. But just 1 year, the market loses 20%. How much money you got left? Nope, it's not 800,000. You see, you're still going to take the 60. So you're at $740,000. And now you're on a downhill slope. And the chances are you're not going to recover from it because you can't make enough money to recover from that. So the basic question is, what does retirement mean to you? How will you protect your nest egg? And how long will your retirement last? Because we're living longer. Now, I have a rule of mine, and that is live like you're going to die tomorrow and plan like you're going to live forever, because you just might. So what is your goal? As I said, most people's goal is to live the lifestyle they become accustomed to, adjusted for taxes and inflation out beyond theirs and their spouse's life expectancy, and then pass their money on in the most tax-favored way possible. And folks, that takes a plan. That takes being proactive. Now, you only have 3 sources of guaranteed income in retirement. You've got a pension if you're lucky enough to get one. You've got your Social Security, and then you've got annuities. So what happens over here is you have these known incomes, and then you have a need, and in between there, that need has to be filled with that gap, rather, between the need and the known incomes has to be filled with your other assets. These assets that you've managed to put away, your IRAs, your 401ks, your 403bs, your 457s, your defined benefit plans, all of that stuff. Now, Social Security is going to be a very big part of it. And the big question is, when should I take my Social Security? And for most of you, and I said most of you, not all of you, don't run out and start doing this stuff because you don't have enough information to move forward. But for most of you, you're going to wait till at least your full retirement age. Your FRA creates a number called your PIA, primary insurance amount. But from full retirement age out to age 70, your Social Security is increasing by a guaranteed 8% every single year going forward out to age 70. Folks, there's nothing on the market today that can compete with that. There's nothing out there that can give you a guaranteed increase in your income for 8 years. There's some things out there that will get close, but not anything that's exactly. Now, the other thing about Social Security is it does keep up with inflation somewhat, not 100%, but it keeps up with inflation. So some years you'll get raises, some years you won't. Social Security benefits are not intended to be your only source of income when you retire. On an average, Social Security will replace about 40% of your annual pre-retirement earnings. You will need other savings, investments, pensions, or retirement accounts to live comfortably when you retire. This is right off your Social Security statement. I don't know if you ever read it, but it's right there. They're telling you to pay attention. So what is that third source? Well, it's that terrible word, annuity. Well, if we're going to talk about how terrible something is, maybe we should really understand it. So what if everything you thought to be true turned out to not be true? How soon would you want to know? Well, keep watching because you're about to learn a few things that you probably don't know. But before we start talking about what an annuity is, let's talk about what a CD is. Well, it says it's a certificate of deposit, or a CD is a savings product with a bank that earns an interest on a lump sum for a fixed period of time. If I take it out early, they charge me a penalty for doing so. Well, everything about that's right, except I call it certificate of disappointment. But listen to what it says, with a bank. Whereas an annuity is basically a savings account with an insurance company. Now, most people believe that an annuity is like a Social Security is a stream of annuity, but most people think that what happens is with an annuity is you give money to an insurance company, they take all your money, and then you get a payment for a certain amount of time. Well, there is some truth to that if you bought a SPIA, single premium immediate annuity, but otherwise, an annuity is a savings account with an insurance company and comes in three forms. Comes in fixed, indexed, and variable. And which one you choose really depends on your exit strategy and what you're trying to do. Are you trying to grow your money or are you trying to turn it into an income stream? One of the greatest things about an annuity, if we buy the right one, is that each and every year, that money is actually increasing, much like Social Security, on what it will pay you out. You see, an annuity can do one thing that nothing else can do, and that is it can provide you a stream of income. Even when it runs out of money, it doesn't run out of income. So when you get to retirement, what you need is income. So what you do is you take a portion of your portfolio and you basically buy a pension by buying an annuity to do that. But you want to be picking the right one because you want to be getting an annuity that will actually help to keep up with inflation. And there are only a couple of them on the market that can actually do that. So you've got to first sit down, figure out where you're going, where you're at, and what your plan looks like to make sure that an annuity first fits into your portfolio, and second, you buy the right one to get what you want to do. Now, everybody says, well, annuities are a terrible thing. Nobody should buy one, et cetera, et cetera. That's like saying everybody on the planet should drive a white Prius or whatever kind of car this is. That's crazy. Maybe you want a truck or maybe you want a Ferrari, something along those lines. So when we're looking at an annuity and we're trying to understand what an annuity is, the things that they say all the time is they're terrible, okay? They have such high fees, et cetera, but they never talk about the benefits. Principal protection, guaranteed lifetime income, opportunities for increase. There are so many benefits to it that you should be looking at, and if you're not looking at, you're probably making a mistake. Because you see, the average length of retirement for a 65-year-old male is 18 years. A female is 20 years. A couple, one of them is going to live to be at least 24 years. And when you're doing a plan, remember what I said. You want to live the lifestyle you become accustomed to, adjusted for taxes and inflation, out beyond yours and your spouse's life expectancy. So when I do a plan, I always do a plan out to age 100. And people are telling me all the time, I'm not going to live that long. Well, let me ask you a question. What if you do? Do you want to do it with money in the bank or do you want to do it broke? Will your money run out? Put set amount of money in an investment, brokerage, gold, cryptocurrency. Put an equal amount of money in an index annuity. Take the drawdown rate that the annuity will provide, which is a guaranteed rate, and put that in a comparison against any one of those accounts. And the one thing I can tell you absolutely positively for sure is both accounts are running out of money. So the question is when they run out of money, what will the annuity do that the other account, the brokerage, the gold, the crypto won't do? And that is it will continue to provide a stream of income. So remember, when you get to retirement, you need guaranteed streams of income. And one of the things that an annuity can provide for you is a guaranteed stream of income that no matter how long you and your spouse lives, it won't run out of income, even when it runs out of money. Time magazine says that securing at least a base level of lifetime income should be every retiree's priority, at least if they want to live happily ever after. So how long will you live? Well, folks, we're living longer. The average life expectancy is on the rise. Retirement lasts 25 years or more, which means that for most people, they're going to be in retirement longer than they actually put away for retirement. Are you ready for a 25-year vacation? Because that's really what we're talking about here. We're talking about no longer having a paycheck coming in the door. How are we going to secure that paycheck that we were actually working for? Now, here's the thing. I could go on here for days talking about all this stuff. But what I would ask you to do is I would ask you to be sure to subscribe to our channel. Be sure to check out other videos that we have. You want to get together with us, set up a no cost, no obligation appointment, get together. Let's talk. Let's sit down and let's talk about what does your retirement look like. Now that strategy session that I do for people, you will walk out of that with more clarity about your retirement than you've ever had in your entire life. And leave your checkbook at home because you don't get to buy anything. Now, if you really want to learn more about this subject of annuities and how annuities really work, go out to our website over here, go under courses, and go pick up the course for annuities and watch that course. Remember, live like you're going to die tomorrow and plan like you're going to live forever because you just might. I look forward to meeting each and every one of you in the near future. Keep smiling. Be sure to subscribe to our channel below down here, like, and put some comments in there. Tell us what you thought about this video. Give us your thoughts on annuities. Give us your thoughts on retirement as a whole. Keep smiling and make it a great day.